This month's exclusive computer music giveaway sees the latest arrival to our CM plugins collection. It's Overtone DSP's PTH2A CM Program EQ. Like its big brother PTC2A, the plugin faithfully emulates the classic Pultec equalizer design, giving you broad and musical tone shaping abilities across a wide range of mixing scenarios. It houses a simultaneous low shelf boost and cut, which can be used to apply the famous Pultec low end trick. And you've also got a broad upper bell boost and a fixed treble shelf cut as well. So let's jump in and explore the plugin in more depth. Here we're going to process a simple drum loop to demonstrate exactly how the EQ works. So fire up a blank project in your DAW of choice, set its BPM to 80 and drop dancehallbeat.wav, found in the tutorial files folder, onto a new audio track. Now we'll set a loop cycling around this audio file and we'll load up a fresh instance of the plugin as an insert over this track. PTH2A CM is a faithful software emulation of the classic Pultec EHQ series of hardware equalizers, which themselves were economical versions of the legendary Pultec EQP1A design. Over on the right of the plugin is its power switch. In its default off position, our audio passes through the plugin's signal path, unaffected by either its EQ filters or subtle tube amplifier stage. So click and drag the switch on to illuminate the yellow lamp and engage the plugin. Let's use our plugin's Pultec emulating low frequency shelving filters, found on the left side of the plugin, to enhance the bottom end of our loop. This CPS style, which stands for cycles per second, i.e. hertz, determines the frequency area at which our low shelves will boost or attenuate below. As with the original hardware unit, it's switchable between 30 Hz, 60 Hz or 100 Hz, and we'll settle upon 30 Hz here. Now push the low frequency boost dial up to 4 and hear how we've applied a broad low shelf boost to our loop's lower frequencies. Increasing the kick's weight. It's worth noting that, as with the original hardware, our value of 4 doesn't relate to decibels. Instead, a maximum value of 10 actually equates to around plus 13.5 dB of shelf gain. So double click on the low frequency boost knob to return it to a minimum 0, and then increase the low frequency attenuate control to 4. This applies a low frequency shelf cut, removing low end weight from our drum loop. And although our frequency value is set to 30 Hz, this attenuating shelf acts at a slightly higher frequency than the boosting one, as with the original Pultec design. And also note that a value of 10 is relative to approximately minus 17.5 dB of attenuation. So now we'll set the low boost to 4 and the low attenuate to 5. Whilst it might seem counterintuitive to simultaneously boost and attenuate low frequencies at the same time, the slightly higher frequency point of the attenuating shelf means that our two shelves provide a combined bass lift and low mid dip. And this gives our loop weight whilst removing mid-range muddiness. This technique is known as the classic Pultec low-end trick. The high-mid boost dial, found on the right of the plugin, applies a high-mid peak boost to our signal at a centre frequency specified by the KCS dial. And KCS stands for kilocycles per second, or kilohertz. So let's increase boost to 3.5 at a frequency of 8 kHz to add more upper mid brightness to our drum loop. The bandwidth, or Q, of this boost is a fixed broad setting, and a maximum value of 10 equates to around 16 decibels of boost. The high frequency attenuate parameter, found on the plugin's far right side, applies a high frequency attenuating shelf cut at a fixed frequency of around 10 kHz. We'll set this dial to a value of 1 to gently cut out some sharp treble from our drums. And finally, note that we can toggle the EQ on-off button to bypass our EQ circuit, whilst retaining the signal path's tube drive stage.
Download over 30 exclusive plugins. Get hundreds of pro-quality samples and power up your production skills with in-depth tutorials. We break it down for you step by step, and you'll see exactly how it's done in expert video guides and producer masterclass sessions with pro producers. Get all this and more with Computer Music Magazine every month on iPad and iPhone, PC and Mac, Android, and in print.